Have you ever considered if there's like a blueprint for enduring success, something that, transcends time, culture, even technology?
It's a huge question, isn't it? Feels almost too big sometimes.
Right. But today on the deep dive, we're actually plunging into this really fascinating idea. It suggests that maybe such a blueprint isn't just wishful thinking.
That it's, well, tangible, rooted in something real.
Exactly. Rooted in what our source material calls universal principles. We're doing a deep dive into some really compelling excerpts from Timeless Success, Justice, Shūrā, and Ihsān in Leadership.
Zahira Madmir's work, yes, very insightful.
Very. And our mission today is basically to unpack three incredibly powerful principles. Justice, which is adl in Arabic.
And adl.
Consultation, or Shūrā.
Shūrā.
And excellency adl. We'll explore how these weren't just like optional add-ons.
No, not at all.
They were the very DNA, the operating system of prophetic leadership. A model that, well, seems to resonate just as much today in our AI world as it did back then. Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here really is just how resilient these concepts are, their relevance today.
Right.
It's striking.
Yeah.
And Mir's work, it really underscores why they're so critical, especially now with everything changing so fast.
Right.
The source makes a key point. Prophetic leadership wasn't just, reactive.
Situational.
Exactly, not just adapting to trends. It was fundamentally, deeply principle-driven. And that distinction, I think, is absolutely crucial.
Also,
Well, it's like the difference between navigating by, say, fixed stars versus just drifting with the currents, without that bedrock of universal values, that moral compass. Organizations, even nations, they become vulnerable. They can falter, break apart under pressure.
Yeah.
They just lack the anchors.
It's not just ancient history we're admiring.
Not at all. It's presented as a vital stability anchor, a framework for navigating the future, including, the huge ethical questions coming with things like AI. So for you, the listener, what we're aiming for in this deep dive is to shed light on some key questions, like what universal principles actually guided Prophet Muhammad in leadership?
Right, the core principles.
Exactly. And how do justice, adl, consultation, shura, and excellence really fit together to form this timeless success Mir talks about?
And the practical side, too.
Absolutely. How can leaders today, whether you're in politics, running a company, or even just managing your own life, how can you actually apply these, especially with AI changing the game?
That sums it up perfectly. Our mission is to pull out the most important insights, the actionable bits from this material.
Give you a shortcut, in a way.
Yeah, exactly. A shortcut to being really well-informed about this framework for success, something you can start thinking about, maybe integrating right away. And, expect some surprising facts, some practical takeaways.
Stuff that empowers you.
Right. Stuff that empowers you in your own leadership, whatever that looks like. Boardroom, community, home. It's about getting tools to build something more resilient, more ethical, more effective, ultimately.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Let's start with the first cornerstone, justice. Tap yellow. Now, when we talk about justice in this context, it's deeper than just the dictionary definition.
Right.
The source defines it very clearly. Impartiality, fairness, and accountability. Absolute accountability.
Okay.
I think an analogy helps here. Imagine, like, a huge skyscraper. You can have amazing design, fancy interiors, all the latest tech. But if that foundation, if it isn't built with total precision, fair engineering accountable to physics.
It all comes down, eventually.
Exactly. It buckles, it crumbles. So justice is that non-negotiable bedrock. It's needed for any society, any organization, any healthy relationship, really.
Fundamentally about putting things in their rightful place, without bias.
Totally. But I think for our audience, the real question isn't just what it is, but how do you actually uphold it, especially when things get tough.
Precisely. And what's compelling here is that this isn't just presented as a human ideal, something noble we strive for.
It's more fundamental.
Yes. The Quran itself mandates it. It elevates justice from just a good practice to a divine instruction. The source points to Quran 16.90. Indeed, Allah commands justice and excellence.
Okay, commands. That's strong language.
It is extraordinarily significant. It doesn't just suggest justice is good for society. It positions it as mandatory.
Yeah.
Divinely ordained.
So it gives it a whole different weight. Spiritual, ethical.
Immense gravity, yes. It turns justice into, well, not just a societal good, but almost an act of worship, a core part of a righteous life. It's this unwavering instruction on how we should conduct ourselves, individually and collectively. Fairness, equity, right at the heart of everything.
That divine emphasis really underlines its importance, its timelessness.
Absolutely. It challenges us to see justice not as optional, but as intrinsic to our purpose.
Okay, so how did this play out to really get the practical side, maybe the difficult side?
Right. The source gives this incredibly powerful example. From the Prophet Muhammad's life, it involved his own daughter, Fatima.
Okay, I think I know this one. The theft accusation.
That's the one.
Huh.
And remember, Fatima wasn't just anyone. She was his beloved daughter, deeply cherished.
Right.
So someone from a prominent tribe was accused of theft. And some people, understandably maybe, wanted to intervene, shield her because of her status, avoid tribal issues.
Pressure to make an exception.
Exactly. But the Prophet's response, absolute, unequivocal. He famously declared that if Fatima, his own daughter, committed theft, he would apply the law. Her hand would be cut off.
Wow, even his own daughter.
Even his own daughter. What's groundbreaking here isn't just the idea of impartiality. It's the radical demonstration that even the deepest personal bonds, family, affection must yield to the principle of justice.
It wasn't just talk.
No, it was a potent, active demonstration. Impartial justice for everyone, regardless of status or relationship. It's really the ultimate test of leadership integrity.
Personal feelings had to come second.
They had to. Justice had to prevail, without exception. It becomes the measure of a leader's true commitment.
Okay, that's a powerful historical example. How does the source connect that kind of principle to, well, today?
Great question. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the source puts it starkly. Without justice, corruption spreads. Trust in systems evaporates.
We definitely see that.
Oh, absolutely. We see the consequences everywhere. When there's a lack of justice, or even just the perception of it, whether it's in politics, in big corporations, even just daily life, the ripple effects are huge.
Like what specifically?
Well, in politics, it erodes public faith, leads to cynicism, apathy, people just checking out.
Right.
In companies, it can create this toxic culture where rules only apply to some. That kills morale, productivity, innovation. Eventually, the organization declines.
And society-wide.
It impacts everything. Economic stability, social cohesion. People become less willing to invest, to cooperate for the common good. When that basic belief in fair play goes, society starts to fracture. Progress becomes incredibly difficult.
Which raises that critical question you mentioned. How do we guard against that erosion of trust today?
Especially, as you say, in our complex world.
It's a heavy question, particularly when we bring in artificial intelligence. So if justice is this fundamental, how do we apply this ancient principle to AI, this world that often feels purely logical, objective?
Yeah, that's the cutting edge right now. The source gives crucial insight here. It emphasizes the need for ethical regulation to prevent bias and injustice in algorithms.
Okay, so regulation is key. But how does bias even get into algorithms? Aren't they just math?
That's the common misconception. AI systems aren't inherently neutral. They're trained on data, massive amounts of data.
And the data can be biased.
Exactly. If that data reflects existing societal biases, conscious or unconscious historical patterns, then the AI doesn't just reflect them, it often amplifies them.
Amplifies them. Wow. Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about hiring algorithms. If they're trained on past hiring data that favored, say, one demographic, they might learn that bias and perpetuate it, even if it's unintentional.
So it could screen out perfectly qualified people based on flawed patterns.
Precisely. Or lending algorithms discriminating against certain communities. Or even in criminal justice, AI assessing risk based on biased historical data, leading to unfair sentencing. These aren't hypotheticals. This stuff is happening.
Okay, that's quite concerning.
It is, which is why human ethical oversight is absolutely critical. Throughout the whole AI lifecycle, design, development, deployment, monitoring.
We need to be proactive.
Absolutely. We need to question the data, scrutinize the algorithms, build in checks and balances, ensure fairness and accountability. Justice in the AI era means actively designing ethics into the systems.
Not just reacting after the harm is done.
Exactly. It's about designing intelligence that serves our highest ethical ideals.
That's a really powerful point, building impartiality in from the start. It feels like a shift, moving from just individual fairness to thinking about how we cultivate collective wisdom.
Right. Which leads us perfectly into the next principle.
Sure.
Consultation.
Shūrā, yes.
And this isn't just like asking for opinions casually.
Oh, it's much more dynamic.
Yeah.
It's about empowering voices, actively integrating diverse perspectives, harnessing that collective wisdom.
instead of silencing people or staying in echo chambers.
Precisely. It's an intentional antidote to that.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets really interesting, I think, moving beyond just hearing to actually integrating.
Okay. And like justice, is there a basis for this in the core texts?
Yes, indeed. Just like justice, Shūrā isn't just recommended, it's presented as a mandate. The Quran, chapter 42, verse 38 says, "And those who have responded to their master and established prayer, and whose affair is determined by consultation among themselves."
Whose affair is determined by consultation.
Okay.
That framing is significant. It makes consultation not just a leadership technique, but an inherent characteristic of believers, part of communal and spiritual practice.
So it implies a certain mindset for leaders.
Absolutely. Profound humility, really. An honest acceptance that no single person has all the answers, all the wisdom.
Right.
A leader committed to Shūrā needs to be open-minded, listen actively, and have the courage to change their mind based on better arguments or new information.
That humility is a strength, not a weakness.
A profound strength. It builds resilience, gets genuine buy-in, and leads to more robust decisions.
Yeah.
You're leveraging everyone's intellectual capital.
Did Prophet Muhammad demonstrate this, especially in, say, high-stakes situations?
Oh, absolutely. He truly exemplified it, particularly on the battlefield, where decisions had immediate life or death consequences. The source highlights his consistent consultation with companions in crucial moments, Badr, Uhud, Khandak.
Let's take Badr. That was a pivotal battle, wasn't it? Early days, survival on the line.
Hugely significant. So, before the battle, the Prophet initially chose a spot for the army. But one companion, Hubab ibn al-Mundhir, he respectfully questioned the choice, asked if it was divine revelation unchangeable or military strategy.
Gutsy question.
Very. When the Prophet confirmed it was strategy, Hubab proposed a different location, nearer the wells, controlling the water supply. Tactically better.
And how did the Prophet respond?
This is the remarkable part. Despite being the leader, the visionary, he didn't dismiss it. He listened intently, considered the expert opinion. He adopted the companion strategy, changed his own plan in that critical moment.
Wow. That's real humility in action.
It's extraordinary. It goes beyond just making a better tactical choice. It shows the immense trust built when every voice matters.
That leadership isn't about having all the answers yourself,
but about creating an environment where the best answers can emerge from the group. That's the enduring lesson. The strength of a leader measured by their willingness to be led by good counsel.
That example perfectly illustrates what the source is. Inclusive decision-making equals better strategies, more loyalty.
Exactly. And it's not just a nice sentiment, it's a strategic imperative.
How so? What are the tangible benefits?
Well, when you involve diverse voices, you tack into a much wider pool of knowledge, experience, perspectives. You spot pitfalls you might have missed, uncover opportunities, generate novel solutions.
Leads to better, more resilient strategies. Makes sense.
Definitely. And then there's the psychological impact. When people feel genuinely heard, valued, like their input matters.
Or committed.
Hugely more loyal, more engaged. They buy into the decisions made. It builds team cohesion, boosts morale, drives innovation because people aren't afraid to speak up, to challenge things constructively.
Okay.
So this raises that important question again for leaders today. How do we actively foster that culture where honest feedback, diverse opinions aren't just tolerated, but actively sought and integrated?
It requires real intentionality.
Ongoing intentionality, yes.
And that question gets even trickier, doesn't it, when we think about AI again? How do we practice Shūrā, consultation, when machines are making or influencing decisions? How do you consult with an algorithm?
Right. It's a complex interface. But the source offers a really compelling vision here. It suggests using collective human plus AI intelligence to guide decisions ethically.
Human plus AI intelligence. So, not AI replacing humans.
Quite the opposite. It's about AI enhancing the human process of Shūrā. Imagine AI analyzing vast data sets, identifying patterns, presenting scenarios and outcomes at a scale humans just can't manage.
So the AI provides the raw data, the analysis.
Exactly. It acts like a super sophisticated analyst, presenting a clearer, more comprehensive picture, but it's not making the final decision.
That's still the human part, the consultation.
Precisely. The Shūrā process then involves humans consulting upon those AI insights, bringing our ethical judgment, emotional intelligence, understanding of values, context, things algorithms don't have.
It's a synergy.
A powerful synergy. AI gives the data clarity. Human consultation ensures decisions are efficient and ethical, equitable, aligned with human flourishing. It elevates our collective wisdom, doesn't diminish it.
A symbiotic future for Shūrā. That's quite a vision.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered justice, ale, as the foundation of trust, and Shūrā, consultation, as the engine for collective wisdom. Now let's move to the third principle, Ihsān, excellence.
Ihsān, yes.
And this one feels different. It's not just about doing things right, but doing them beautifully.
That's a great way to put it. It goes beyond the minimum required, beyond mere competence. It's about conscious perfection, doing something with grace, meticulousness, profound care.
So every action, even small ones, can be elevated.
That's the idea, infused with an intention and quality that makes it exceptional. So what does this commitment to excellence really mean in practice?
Right. What does it look like?
Well, the spiritual and ethical sides are absolutely central here. The source quotes a powerful hadith. Allah loves that when you do something, you do it with excellence. Allah loves. Okay, so again, it's tied to a higher purpose.
Deeply. It's a divine call to infuse every action, every interaction with purpose, integrity, meticulous care. The action isn't just functional. Its quality, consciousness, intention should make it an act of beauty, of devotion.
It connects our daily tasks to a higher standard.
Exactly. A sense of personal accountability, a commitment to doing our absolute best, not necessarily for external reward, but because it's inherently right, inherently beautiful.
It transforms ordinary acts into something more.
And refines the character of the person doing it, too. It's about constantly raising the bar on ourselves.
And Prophet Muhammad, his leadership embodied this.
Absolutely. It wasn't just competent leadership. It was leadership with extraordinary depth. Forgiveness, generosity, vision, all showing Ihsān.
Can you give an example?
Think about the forgiveness he granted after the conquest of Mecca to people who had relentlessly opposed him. That wasn't just pragmatic politics. It was Ihsān, seeking reconciliation, upliftment, not just retribution.
Going far beyond basic expectation. Immeasurably beyond. It showed a character focused on beauty, grace, ethical consideration in the process of achieving success. It wasn't just the output, it was the character informing it all.
Okay, how does that translate to today? The source says excellence means raising standards in ethics, creativity, and service.
Right. Let's break that down. In ethics, Ihsān means going way beyond just legal compliance.
Beyond ticking the boxes.
Way beyond proactively building a culture where ethics are front and center, where integrity is real, actionable, making choices because they're morally sound, beneficial, not just legal.
And creativity.
Not just getting the job done, relentlessly pursuing innovation, challenging the status quo, seeking elegant solutions, fostering an environment where people can think boldly outside the box.
Celebrating curiosity.
Exactly. And finally, in service, whether it's customers, constituents, team members, family Ihsān means going the extra mile.
Anticipating needs. Exceeding expectations.
Consistently. Delivering care, attention, efficacy that leaves a lasting positive impression. Building real loyalty and trust.
This raises that important question you flagged earlier.
It does. In a world obsessed with speed, efficiency, often cutting corners. How do we consciously prioritize and cultivate this genuine excellence?
This Ihsān.
How do we choose beauty, quality, care, even when it takes more effort, more time?
It's a profound challenge. And again, bringing AI into it. Can AI be excellent in this sense? Or can we achieve Ihsān with AI?
What does conscious perfection look like with algorithms? Good question.
Right.
The source gives a clear directive. Aim for human-AI synergy that uplifts, not dehumanizes. This is where Ihsān becomes an indispensable guide for AI development and deployment.
So AI solutions shouldn't just work.
Not enough. They need to embody ethical beauty, deliver genuine human benefit, enhance our capabilities, amplify creativity, improve well-being.
Not replace or diminish us.
Exactly. Ihsān would guide us to build AI that frees humans up for deeper, more creative, more empathetic thought and action. AI that's transparent, fair, and contributes positively.
Using technology in service of a higher, more excellent, more humane future.
Precisely. Approaching AI development with that same conscious care, that pursuit of beauty that Ihsān demands everywhere else, making the world not just smarter, but more humane, equitable, beautiful.
Okay, so we've looked at justice, Shūrā, and Ihsān individually. Powerful principles. But the real magic happens when they come together, right?
Absolutely. Their interconnectedness is key.
Yeah.
They aren't isolated concepts you can pick and choose. They're interdependent pillars. An integrated system.
So justice creates the order. the trust.
The stable foundation.
Shūrā builds on that, bringing in collective wisdom, inclusion, loyalty.
The dynamic engine.
And Ihsān, excellence, infuses it all with inspiration, raises standards, brings that conscious perfection.
Right, and the source uses that powerful metaphor.
An unbreakable triangle.
The unbreakable triangle of prophetic leadership. Picture it. Each side representing one principle. Remove or weaken even one side.
The whole thing becomes unstable.
It collapses. The system can't function optimally, can't sustain itself, without all three working together synergistically.
Can you give a quick example of that interdependence?
Sure. Justice without Shūrā can easily become authoritarian. Fair rules, maybe, but no buy-in leads to resentment.
Okay.
Shūrā without justice. Consultation can be hijacked by powerful voices, leading to biased consensus, overriding fairness.
Right. Mob rule, almost.
Potentially, and both justice and Shūrā without Ihsān. You might get a system that's competent, functional, but it lacks that transformative impact, that inspiration, that ethical beauty.
It doesn't truly elevate things.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you see how each one reinforces and elevates the others. Creates this robust, resilient framework. It's the operating system for a thriving endeavor.
That triangle metaphor really makes it clear. And the beauty is, this applies everywhere, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Not just nations or big companies.
Small teams, families, personal projects, even just how we interact daily.
The principles are universal, scalable, a consistent guide for effective ethical action in any sphere.
Okay. We've explored the theory of the implications. Now let's get really practical. How do we translate this into action? This is where the rubber meets the road for you, the listener.
Right.
So what does this all mean for you? How do you actually do this?
Let's start with justice. The source suggests something very practical. Audit your personal and organizational fairness.
Audit. Okay. How?
It means actively, honestly looking inward at your own decisions and outward at processes in your team, your organization, even your family. Ask tough questions.
Like?
Where might my unconscious biases be influencing things? Are our processes truly transparent and equitable for everyone? Do I hold myself and others accountable to the same standards? No favoritism.
That requires real honesty.
It does. To make it actionable, maybe review specific decision criteria, promotions, assignments, evaluations, even household chores. Get external feedback from someone objective.
A trusted outsider perspective.
Yes. Regular, honest audits are crucial to catch imbalances before they cause real harm. Justice becomes this ongoing, proactive practice.
Okay, that's justice. What about Shūrā, consultation?
The advice is to build systems for consultation, feedback loops, advisory boards, but it doesn't have to be formal corporate stuff.
How could it work in different settings?
For leaders, maybe regular, structured team feedback sessions where everyone is expected to contribute critique and ideas, diverse advisory groups for key projects, even a simple anonymous suggestion box.
And for families.
Could be transformative. Regular family meetings where everyone, even kids, gets a real voice in decisions, vacations, chores, whatever, builds ownership.
The source mentioned a consultation circle.
Right. That can be informal but powerful. A small, trusted group, peers, mentors, friends you regularly bounce ideas off, consciously seeking different views before big decisions.
The key is being intentional about creating those spaces for listening.
Intentional and consistent. Dedicated spaces and processes for genuine, empathetic listening and collaboration.
Got it. And finally, Ihsān, excellence.
Here the call is to define excellence benchmarks beyond minimum compliance. Go beyond just meeting requirements.
How do you define that? It seems subjective.
It requires reflection. What does true excellence look like in your specific area? Your work, your craft, your life. Is success just hitting targets? Or is it fostering a team that thrives ethically and creatively? Is it just passing a test, or truly mastering the subject with meticulous care?
Setting your own higher standard.
Exactly. Set personal or team Ihsān goals that deliberately push beyond basic requirements. Focus on the quality, the beauty, the integrity, the positive impact.
Which brings back that introspective question.
Are you truly striving for beauty and conscious care, or just checking boxes? Ihsān relentlessly challenges us to elevate our standards consistently.
Right. Not just tasks, but an operating system.
That's the idea. Integrate them so they become your default mode for approaching challenges, making decisions, interacting with the world, practical, living exercises for everyone.
Transforms them from abstract ideals to a real framework.
Precisely.
Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's quickly recap the core messages from Mir's work.
Good idea.
First, justice, Shūrā, Ihsān. They're timeless, universal, as relevant today with AI as they were centuries ago.
Absolutely. Enduring principles.
Second, prophetic leadership provides this powerful model for leading with principles, with integrity.
A clear blueprint.
And finally, successful leaders today must integrate fairness, inclusion, and excellence. It have to be their fundamental operating system.
Non-negotiable.
So this leads to a personal challenge for you, the listener. Inspired by the source's reflection notes, we encourage you to try some daily self-reflection. Just a moment to ask, was I fair gay? Did I consult? Did I pursue excellence, Ihsān, in what I did?
Going beyond just good enough.
Exactly. Maybe even keep a justice and excellence journal.
Yeah.
Track small acts. Notice where you did well, where you can improve.
Exit tangible.
And for Shūrā, maybe establish your own consultation circle. Family, friends, colleagues. Practice it weekly. Actively seek and value their perspectives.
These aren't just ideas to think about, they're actionable practices.
Right. With the power to really transform your leadership, your interactions, your life.
Definitely.
So, final thought. We're standing at this, well, fascinating, maybe slightly daunting point with AI. Technology promises so much efficiency, innovation.
But also raises questions about human qualities.
Exactly. Qualities like judgment, empathy, creativity, things that could get automated away. Perhaps the ultimate act of timeless leadership now isn't just managing systems or algorithms.
What is it then?
Perhaps it's about relentlessly upholding these very human virtues. Justice, empathy, excellence, ensuring our amazing technology elevates our humanity, doesn't diminish it, enhances the beauty of the world.
Making sure tech serves us, not the other way around.
Right. So the question for you moving forward is deeply personal. How will you ensure that the future, with all its tech, is built fundamentally on these unbreakable principles?